Alright everybody, what we're going to do here is show you how to put these partition panels in a vanity. A little bit of background on this. Conestoga with these larger vanities that have multiple compartments, a sink area with drawers or a drawer area with 2 sinks, they send along partition panels. A lot of customers, I'll even use the word complain, and I guess it's a rightful complaint. They really want these panels to somehow dovetail in or slide in or somehow be easily mounted right where they're supposed to go to create the 3 compartments. It's not the way it's done. Don't ask me why. I don't work at Conestoga, I just sell their stuff. What they send you is a square-edged, pre-cut piece of plywood, but you have to determine where it goes and you have to install it. The only thing I can tell you that might be the reason why they don't do that is some people don't want these partition panels in because their plumbing may come over too far, it would hit the panel, so they want the ability to not use the panel. And if there was pre-done routes in the cabinet back and bottom, it would look ugly for those folks. So they just make the folks who do want the panels work a little harder. So we're going to show you how to do that. Again, you're going to get, in this case, 2 partitions, one for each of these drawer areas. One side is finished, one side is not. You're going to want to keep the finished side to the viewing side. In this case, because it's a drawer stack, you won't see the side in there, so you're going to want to keep the finished side to the sink side, okay, where you're going to see that and you're going to want to have protection from water. So what we do is, again, it's pre-cut. We're just going to insert this into the space it goes in, and here's where some thinking is required. You're going to need a tape measure, you're going to need a square of some sort, a pencil, and a couple of pieces of blocking, roughly 1/2 by 3/4, 3/4 by 3/4, somewhere in that range. And here's what we're going to do. If Jim can come in here and get in on this, the Bloom hardware, the Bloom drawer glides are meant, in this case you can see it's coming right out and sitting, we got some blocking behind it. The drawer glide wants to sit against this side panel. If you have this side panel justified to the inside, your hinges will no longer wrap around this front frame. Okay, so you want to make sure the panel is flush on this surface with the inside of your drawer area, so that your drawer track can just sit right here and run right down the length of this, and you can screw the drawer track right to this. You will not need to use the metal bracket at the back. Okay, so line that up perfectly. Take your tape measure. And you know that this is correct because you've lined it up with the front frame, and we know that dimension's 12 1/4. As Jim can show you on the tape measure, we're at 12 1/4. We want to make sure it's the exact same back here. From the cabinet wall to that panel is 12 1/4. And once we know that, we can strike a line using our square and find the edge of that panel, move that out of the way, strike a line, which we'd already done before, that's why it's there, it didn't come that way. And once we have that panel straight up and down on a marked line, we can set it off to the side, come back through, and we can pre-drill some holes right where they're going to be, so that when we come through the back of the cabinet, we're going to be right in the spine of that plywood. Okay, so you're just going to run some pre-drills down there, boop, 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 all the way down, maybe 6 or 7 of them. And let's put the panel back in and pretend that's been done. So now that panel is secured along the back. You're going to do the same thing along the bottom. Flip the cabinet up on its face, or on its back would be better, and do the same thing along the bottom and screw up through the cabinet bottom into the bottom of that panel. So now it's secure along the back, it's secured along the bottom. We know it's running parallel to the cabinet side, so your drawer glides are not going to be towing in or towing out, they'll be dead level, so your drawers will run in and out smoothly. Well, now what about the front? How do we secure that front to the back of the front frame? I guess theoretically you could do some kind of a pocket screw arrangement, but for the average homeowner who doesn't have that kind of equipment or skill, just take some blocks, any 3/4 scrap blocks. Put one right up at the top, and you're going to glue it, and then pin. Okay, you don't want to pin through the cabinet face, you want to pin into the back and through the cabinet side. Short pins, like 1 inch would be fine. Okay, and you're going to put one there, one kind of right in here somewhere, and one right here. Don't go to the bottom, and don't go here, because your hinge will not make it. You want to make sure you're putting these where your hinge wraps will not be. Okay, and 2 or 3 blocks on that whole panel would be fine. You're just going to pin it to the panel, pin it to the back of the frame, and now that panel is stable. So that should answer it for you. It's just some math, some tape measure and pencil math, nothing really hard. I wish it was easier and Conestoga made it more plug and play, but they didn't, so we have to do a little more work on our end, but it's not that difficult. Give us a call if you have any questions.